Hello, beautiful souls. Debbie here, and I'm so excited you're joining me for today's show. As CEO of Up Vibrations, my goal with this podcast is to motivate you by sharing insights and also taking you along as I speak to knowledgeable people that I have found inspiring for me throughout my years as an energy medicine practitioner and channeler. I cover topics that I'm passionate about, all things under my three pillars of live, love, and lead. Live encompasses our planet, the food, exercise, meditation, your soul. Love, well, that begins with self-love, and that includes energy medicine, self-reliability, personal responsibility, spirituality, self-empowerment. Lead, this is how you're showing up in the world and how you are making a difference for the better. So tune in and listen up for this exciting episode to begin. But before we do, I have to read this disclaimer. This podcast and the topics discussed stem from my own curiosity and desire to learn and should never be taken as direct medical advice. I am not a doctor, dietitian, or any other medical professional. Please always consult your trusted provider regarding your health and your wellness. So let's begin. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Live, Love, Lead podcast. I'm your host, Deb Sodergren. And since we had such an amazing session with Dr. Elle earlier in the month, I decided that I wanted to have her back on, and I wanted to go a little deeper with something that her and I are both very passionate about, is our well-being. And one of the major tools that we use are doTERRA oils. I know some of you have had some questions about the oils, the name of it and what we use and what we use them for. And so rather than just kind of field these for myself, I decided to invite Dr. Elle back on the show, and let's just have a conversation around this virtual table, and let us talk about some of our oils. So welcome back to the show, Dr. Elle. And for those of you that are new to the show, just go into my feed and you can listen to the previous show. It might be 1, 2, or 3 back, and just listen to the recording, and all the information is there with Dr. Elle as far as introducing her. But I want to get into the nuts and bolts of this. So, hey, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Elle.
Good
Welcome
morning,
back.
good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for having me back. I love having conversations with you.
It is fun, especially when we're vibing in our, in what lights us up and what, has us living our amazing lives together. I know recently, Dr. Elle is my quote unquote upline in my doTERRA business. I've been using oils with not only myself, and it's not just oils that doTERRA does, but I do use their products not only with myself, but I recommend them also to my clients. And when I do that, I use my intuition that comes through that says their body needs. I have that amazing gift, and I'm very thankful for that. And I also, when it's outside of my wheelhouse, I refer them to just get on a call with Dr. Elle. And, they have that doctor, Dr. Elle is a naturopathic doctor. They have that confidentiality agreement, just like my patients have with me when they come in to see me. We have that confidentiality agreement. I just like to refer them out. If I find something that works amazing, I'm going to share it with everybody. So yeah, all of my loyal listeners here, I'm sharing one of my secrets with you is Dr. Elle and how we use doTERRA, the products, what we love. So some of the questions that I got fielded were, what do you use for oils for stress? So do you want to take this one, Dr. Elle?
Sure. Well, first, I'm secret sauce for you. That's kind of fun. I'm the secret sauce for today. Well, this is great. Well, again, thanks so much for having me on this call. And yeah, I love doTERRA oils, first of all, and I will tell you about the ones I use primarily for stress. They are the gold standard in the industry. They are certified pure therapeutic grade, and they are third-party tested, just like medications are. So it is an extremely transparent company. So whatever is in the bottle came out of Mother Nature. All right. So they don't go in there and tweak it and screw around with it. It's just, if it says lavender, it's lavender and nothing else. So I like that so much.
Yeah.
So
And so I just, while you're saying that, I just want to say for some of the naysayers out there that go, oh, well, I don't believe in essential oils. What would your response be to those people?
Well, let's have a conversation.
Exactly.
So the reason why is like I grew up extremely homeopathically. My parents are from Europe. So I was taught in that European culture of how to use plant medicine. And for those of you that don't know, essential oils are the basis of all medicines.
Hmm.
So when I work with people that are, biochemists, creating medications are synthetic, just first so you know. Anything synthetic, your body is going to have a response to. So the next time you have a medication, take a look at the side effects. That is a synthetic that is causing the problems with your body.
So a
Well,
synthetic is something that's made in the lab, correct?
correct.
Okay.
So if you're going outside, I'm going to use lavender again. We know that we can grow lavender outside, right? You can grow it in most parts of the country.
Hmm.
And we actually get our lavender oil or lavender plant from Europe and out of France because that's where the soil is the best, the air is the best, that's where it grows the best. That's where we find that the quality, the vibration, and the best part of that comes from that area. So we go to the indigenous places of the world to get the best plants and we harvest them there. Lavender is steam distilled, so basically you can't burn it. It has to be compressed at a certain rate of speed, and they have all the science to do it. So I just like that part of it. So when you're working with a pure essential oil, the body knows what to do with it. It's a plant. We live on a planet of plants. Our body is supposed to cohabitate with it. So we know that, let's just say your great, 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 great grandmother, from wherever she came from in the world, right? She was out in the garden mixing stuff up for you when there was something wrong with you. That was Mother Nature's pantry. That was her medicine cabinet. She knew, and let's use lavender again, that if you were stressed, she would make you a cup of lavender tea. If you go way back in time, you will see that people hung dried lavender from the cradles of their children to help them sleep. We know that the basis of aspirin is from the white willow bark, right? It comes
Hmm.
from a tree. We know that, all the components that are out here help us. Like, let's just say if you live in an area where there's poison ivy, did you know the antidote is right next to it? And it's not a bottle of calamine lotion. Okay. So, it's just knowing these different things. So over the years, I was like you at one point when, oh, that's not going to work until it did,
Yeah.
until it did. And for me, I've used, that this is my medicine cabinet. Like if you come to my house and you're looking for aspirin, you're going to be out of luck because I don't have it. But what I
Mm.
do have is I have a bottle of past tense that we could put a couple drops in your temples, and within 5 minutes, your headache will be gone. If you're someone with a migraine headache, we're going to do the past tense. We're going to give you a glass of water and we'll put some frankincense on your temples, and that headache is going to go down. Right? It's just feed, like I've said in previous discussions, is feed the body what it requires, and it will utilize it to the best of its possibilities.
Yeah.
I just
And
love
I
that.
think that's so important, especially with why I chose to do doTERRA. Was it was important to me because I'd been, throughout these 30 years, I've been learning a lot about, like back in the 70s is when they came out with a lot of additives. They started using high
Yep.
fructose corn syrup and all the additives in food because they wanted to, quote unquote, make it easier for the at-home mom to open up her day. And then women started going into the workforce. So they were doing both things instead of one or the other. And it just got really crazy. And so through time, these past 40 years or so, what's happened is our soil's depleted because we've used too much Roundup on it and glyphosate. It's depleted our soil, it's leached into it, and it's stripped it of its nutrients. And yeah, there's science that has been done. There are studies that can show you on a slide on a microscope, underneath the microscope, how the soil is dead. So it's
Yep.
really important to me to know this information and then go get my oils or whatever it is that I'm going to consume it in my body, on my body, from it's got to be sourced where not only is it the purest, but it's also um, not stripping the farmer of their livelihood. And I love that about doTERRA is they are a big give back company, and they think a lot about where they're getting their sources, their information sourced from as far as their products. They care about the community. And that is
Yes.
such a huge piece of it for me. And I understand how my dollars are my voice.
Yep. So they have a thing called co-impacting sourcing. So they literally go, to the poorest places in the world where we have some amazing plants, and they go teach the farmers how to grow. And what they do is they upfront them the seeds, right? So they show them how to farm. And then when that farmer has made enough crop, they give back that portion of what the seed value was, right? And also doTERRA will go in as a humanitarian group. They build hospitals and schools, right, to help those communities. So to me as a human being, as an entrepreneur and as someone who just cares, like I know I can't go to some of these places, but I know that my family of doTERRians can.
Mhm.
And so that's what I love about that, beyond the how pure the oils are and how well they work. So getting back to the stress part.
Mhm.
And right now I work with a lot of people that are having stress, not only from, people are going back to work, people are still healing from the past 2 years. People don't know what to do with themselves. Like, do I
Yeah.
hug people? Do I not hug people? Oh my God, if somebody sneezes, what do I do? Right. All of that's
Mhm.
going down. And you may emotionally think like you're okay, but inside of your body, you're still running some fear. And it's normal. It's normal because we've been through a lot. Studies say that for the next 20 years, we're going to see responses in people and specifically in children because of this, right? So the fear that we put upon ourselves, just it happened. It is what it is. We need to move forward. So for me, I use a lot of products that are going to be stress reducing. So one of which I make sure that I take the right kind of vitamins. And do I use doTERRA? Yes. Why? Because they work, right?
Mhm.
My parents are 93 and 90, still alive. My dad still drives and he's 93. Okay. So they have been using doTERRA supplements plus the oils for many years. I can't tell you the outstanding blood results that I get every single time when I bring them to the doctor, right? I go with them just because, it's my job, right? To make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And they're like, the vitamin nutrition in your parents' blood is better than a 25-year-old. Right, so that's
Wow.
important to me. Yeah, like every time it cracks me up, right? So I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep doing this." So it's showing that even in elderly people, we have great results. So our vitamins come in a herbal pack, so it's almost like they went out into the most organic field in the world. They chopped up all the fruits and vegetables and put it into a little veggie cap, and then you consume it. So it has about a version of between 12 and 16 servings of fruits and vegetables per day, right? So
So,
why not?
so is it organic?
Oh, better than organic, better
How's
than
it better
organic.
than organic? What does that
Because
mean?
well, from doTERRA, there is an organic labeling out there in the world that they need to go to XYZ. Those are the things that are standards. doTERRA goes above those standards.
Okay.
So they test everything to make sure there is no bacteria, there's nothing weird in it, there's no synthetic, there's been no pesticides put on right into the plants. So they really have done their homework. So I'm like really happy for that. So for every patient that I have, whether they be on a stress reduction course, or they're trying to lower their triglycerides, or they're trying to lose weight, I put them on these vitamins because I see better results when they feed the body what it requires. Because if
Okay.
there's something off in your body, you're missing some sort of nutrient, and we don't know exactly what it is. Which vitamin, we don't always know. So we can go back there and check it, and it just kind of works. So that's the first thing.
So
In the
it's a
stress,
vitamin. So you give them a vitamin to help them with their stress level.
that's your
Not
first
a
thing. Yes,
vitamin, but you give them
a
some
series
supplement.
of exactly some vitamins that are specific for overall health, so that the body can start to work on its own. That's the first thing. The
Yeah.
second thing I do is I work with a supplement. It's called Adaptive. And Adaptive, again, from doTERRA, it's a system. It comes with a supplement, it comes with a roll on, and it comes with oil that you can diffuse in your diffuser. And I will tell you that is remarkable stuff. So it works with the GABA and the gamma in your brain. So basically, the center that goes, hello, I need some stress reduction, right? It's all natural. It doesn't interfere with any medication. And what we've been able to do is actually get people off of antidepressant and panicky medications, okay, or anxiety medication so that they can be calmer. And so
That's
it helps to
awesome.
redirect the brain so that it works more effectively. So
Okay,
for
so
me, I'm like,
somebody,
it's a win-win. Hmm.
I was going to say someone like me, like what I've known, because I've seen naturopaths, basically for the past 30 years. What they knew at that time was take some ashwagandha, because that was
Yep.
something that would, reduce my anxiety, stress, kind of that piece of it. So you're saying that adaptive would kind of does the same type of thing,
But better, because
but better.
it's gonna
Okay.
work with the brain. So as we evolve as human beings, obviously there's science, right? They're gonna start mixing and matching with different plants to see the best ways. That is the good thing of doTERRA because we do work globally. We have access to ancient medicines, like
Yeah.
ancient, right? That they knew worked.
Hmm.
Like I always tell the story of frankincense, and most people know the word frankincense, whatever religion you might be. But the story with frankincense is, and here's my, my 2022 version of it. So here comes John, and he goes to pick frankincense, and he brings it home to his family, and they're, cleaning it up so they could be ready to sell it. So his family never gets sick, never, ever, ever gets sick. But Bob, he's sick all the time, but he doesn't harvest any frankincense. He just does what he does. So then here comes the rest of John's family, his uncles, his cousins, everybody. They all do the frankincense trade. None of them get sick. But here's the other guys downtown, they're all sick. So what they learned is that frankincense was a huge component of health, even back before biblical time, right? They knew what it did. So this is in every single culture that we go, there is something there that we know heals the body or keeps them well. If you think of the rainforest, right? Think of the rainforest. There's
Hmm.
so much um, plant life there, magical plant life that we haven't even, scratched the surface on. That we're finding right now that, oh my gosh, this could help reverse cancer. This could reverse this, right? So the magic is on the planet. We just are finding it now. So with the adaptive piece, they've created this flower blend that comes with this, and it just works with a specific part of the brain to help create a much calmer environment. And it
Mm.
doesn't make you feel wasted. It doesn't like make you feel tired. It just makes you go, okay, I can deal well with things. Right. And that's exactly what it does. The essential oil that comes in a roll on, you just roll it on your wrist and you smell it. Everyone that I give this to, they're like, oh, that's nice. And they take a breath. One of my first challenge, well, it wasn't a challenge, it was kind of an experiment for me. I was flying home from teaching in Washington, D.C. And I was on a very early flight. Like I had to get up at 3 in the morning, be on the plane for 5 to come home to go teach somewhere else in the world. And I had the seat next to me open, and I was so happy. I'm like, oh, there's no one next to me. And then in walks this beautiful man, and I'm like, oh, Thor is going to come sit next to me. And he did. He did. He was beautiful. And even a young guy, and sits down next to me. And he's probably like 6'4", 6'5". He's a big kid, tall kid. And he like his arm kind of touched mine because he was, I was in the middle seat. He was clammy. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a bad flight for him. And so I whipped out my adaptive roll on and I said, hi, I'm Dr. L. I don't look like a doctor right now this morning. I said, but, like as I'm wiping the mascara from underneath my eyes with, spit on my finger, I hand him over the adaptive. I'm like, put this on your wrist. I go, I'm going to put some on mine as well. This is going to help reduce your stress and you're going to be okay. And he goes, oh, thank you so much. I am so afraid to fly.
Mm.
Right. So, I gave him some and he smelt it, like instinctively knew to smell it, rubbed it on his wrist. And he's like, oh, that's nice. And we started to have a conversation. We were already in the air for about 15 minutes before he had even realized we had lifted off.
Yeah, that's
It calmed
awesome.
him, it calmed him that fast. So it's like I have so many of these stories to say how fast this works,
Yeah.
and it's not a drug,
Well, if you
right?
think about it, your skin is your largest organ. So topically
Yes.
putting it on your skin, it gives it access to get in there to all your neurons.
Absolutely. So it just works fantastic. Even just smelling it. When we smell an essential oil, it goes through the olfactory system of your nose. So kind of if you were to think the bridge of your nose, like where your sunglasses hit, right? That's your olfactory system. And as we breathe in, tiny, 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 tiny little molecules that we can't even see, that we're smelling in, say of the essential oils. And what happens is it gets, you breathe it in, it goes into your bloodstream, it goes into your brain, and it goes, oh, relax. Okay. Right. And the body goes,
Mm.
okay, because I recognize this as a plant of nature. As opposed to synthetic is going to take 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes before your body's gonna calm down, and by the time you're in the plane with that happening, it's a bad day for everybody on the plane.
Yeah. Isn't it true? I heard that because it is organic volatile compound that you have to reapply it every couple hours because it just
Yeah,
dissipates into the air. Okay.
yeah, and that's good.
Yes.
That's how all plants work. Even our body as we digest. So just so you know, like when you're eating something, if you're just eating a salad, right? Your body's gonna process that probably within 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You're gonna be hungry again in about an hour. But we add protein to a meal, it's gonna last up to 4 hours, but only up to 4 hours. Right? The same thing when we use herbology. You're going to put it on, you need to reapply it, right? The body's absorbed it in a positive manner and says, yes, please, I'll have some more.
Well, and if you're deficit in something and you apply it and you're deficit and you can feel like, within an hour, you feel like you came down, you're feeling the effects of like, oh, it wore off. It's because it really did because you're that deficit.
Correct. And I
Okay.
have another story. I was at a business group, like a BNI group, and it was the first time I was meeting everyone in person. And there was a gentleman sitting across from me, and he was an energy worker. He did tapping. And as we started talking, I could look at him and he was a little stressed. I could feel it. And so of course I whip out my magic oils and give a little quick presentation and I handed him the adaptive. And I said, so open it up, smell it. He goes, oh, that's nice. He puts them on his wrists. It wasn't even 30 seconds. His head lifted up. What is this? I need it now. I'm like, oh, okay. And I go, what do you feel? He goes, I just feel like I can take a breath and I don't feel scared and my anxiety is gone. He goes, I could
Wow.
feel it go all the way down to my feet. He goes, I feel amazing. What is this stuff? And so I love
Mm,
when I hear that, right? Because the
yeah.
body was just so open to receive it. And so now he recommends that to all of his patients because he does stress reduction using tapping techniques. So it's really
Wow.
cool how this kind of works.
It really is.
Other
There were a
other
couple other ones that I just
sure.
want to touch on. I mean, people can always go to the doTERRA site. I'll put a link below for us.
Yep,
They can do their own research. I mean, that's the other thing is
absolutely.
doTERRA does a great job of putting all their information there for their science, the teams of the doctors that they have on staff. This is a legit, like they really are the real deal, and that's what I
Yep.
love about them. Can you tell me a little bit about like Copaiba?
Copaiba, yeah, or Copaiba, right? So,
Right.
I'm from Belgium, so of course I'm just trying to speak that in French or in Dutch, and of course the Spanish guys were like, "Oh, don't even try Copaiba." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I can pronounce it now."
Copaiba.
Yeah, Copaiba, right? So what Copaiba is, or Copaiba, as others will say, it also is going to come from South America, and what it does, it works very similar to CBD down the same pathways of the body. But it doesn't have, and I'm gonna say, the magic mix that makes you feel weird, okay? Because I wanna keep this safe here, FDA compliant.
Yes.
So, what it does is it creates healthier liver enzymes, right? What does that mean to you? If your liver is working more effectively, your whole body is healthier. Your liver is like the general of your body. If you go to any acupuncturist, they will say the liver is a general because it all comes from there. Your liver works 24/7, it doesn't stop. So we
Mm.
need healthy liver enzymes, right, to process one, our foods, to create bile, to release, excretion out of the body. We also need liver enzymes to help keep the body well. Additionally, copaiba is anti-inflammatory, right? So if you have anything inflamed in your body, and let me tell you, if you have type 2 diabetes, you have a heart condition, you've got soreness, you've got pain in your joints, you've got something, that's all inflammation.
Mm.
Everything is inflammation. And how do we reduce that? Right? So with copaiba, we have it in not only the liquid form as in a 15 milliliter bottle, and there's about 300 drops in that bottle, so it's good for your bang for your buck. It also comes with a soft gel that you can take. So for most people, I recommend anywhere between, one, two, or three, depending on their conditions. It also says that on the bottle, right? So you can figure out what's going on. Or feel free, give me a call. I will see what's going on in your health, and I will say, hey, this is what studies say work best for you.
Yeah.
I take it every day, just because, you know what? I'm 59 years old. I want to be able to run around with my grandson and not feel any aches and pains, right? It's a good preventative for me. The other thing too is when your liver enzymes are healthy, you are able to increase your immune system, right? And that's important to me, right? And
Especially, yeah.
especially now, like, because people don't know. So we want
Hmm.
to make sure we keep our immune system strong. So copaiba is in my daily doses of vitamins, as it is in my husband's as well. And so he, for a short period of time, his triglycerides had spiked for a specific reason I'm not going to share here.
Hmm.
And since he's been taking the copaiba, right, his liver enzymes are now healthier. His triglycerides are down 100 points
That's
in
a
less
lot.
than a month,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of different transition just by giving what the body needs, give it what it needs, and it will do its job. The other thing too is, with copaiba as an anti-inflammatory, creating new liver enzymes, and I tell this in every presentation I give, please make sure you're drinking enough water. So if you say, "Oh, I drink a ton of water," okay, that tells me you don't know how much water you're drinking, right? And that's me being respectful with lots of love and light there. What
Yep.
I want you to do is do the math. Whatever you weigh, divide it in half. So easy math, you're 160 pounds. You need 80 ounces of water. And I can hear some of you gasping, rolling your eyes. Oh my God, that's a ton of water. Yep. Well, you know what? Your brain needs it. Your body needs it to flush out toxins. Like peeing is good. Okay. The only time I would alter any of that thought is if you are having any renal, that means any kidney problems, that is a discussion we would have to talk about because your medical doctor may say, hey, you can only have XYZ. All right. But let's work with that. Let's give you really good water so that you stay hydrated properly so that we can assist your liver and we can assist your kidneys. If you
Mm.
do have a kidney disorder or a situation, I'm going to tell you, juniper berry, right? And they're like, well, what the heck is juniper berry? Yeah, like the bush outside. I'm not telling you to go suck on the leaves. Nope, not telling you to do that, right? But they're like, well, what does that mean? Well, did you know that in Earl Grey tea, it's made with juniper, right? So there's plenty of foods out there that you don't even know that are utilizing essential oils to help. So
Yeah.
if you are having renal, please stop drinking your tea, okay? Because you drinking too much tea is going to deplete your B1, and we don't want to do that, right? So that's why we have conversations to see, like, okay, what are you doing in your lifestyle? What are you experiencing for stress? What is your life? What does it really look like? So that we can take a look at that and go, okay, let's just look from a different point of view. How can we best assist you for you to get to your optimized health and wellness? For
Yeah.
me,
See,
I am
that's
so
what
going to invite you good vitamins, good food, good nutrition, good essential oils.
I know. See, that's what I love about you is you dig deep. It's not just like a surface thing. You give the explanation behind it. You help somebody understand what it is like that, by taking this happens. By not taking this is what happens. Oh, if you're taking this, you should take this with it. And I love the explanation behind it because knowledge is power and we're all different. Our little
Yep.
biodome is its own unique recipe, and what worked for my family, what worked for my mother or my father or my siblings is different than me because we are all
Yes.
different. And one of the things that I've struggled with is, I'm a good eater. I am getting better about my exercise, meaning I'm doing more strength training, and really tracking what I'm doing with all that. But for me, like I'm told I have high cholesterol and that it's hereditary, quote unquote. Well, when I look back, I think, well, yeah, I can see what my parents and my grandparents ate, and they weren't the best eaters. So there is some truth to it, but what can I do? Empower me so that I
Mhm.
can, bring down my cholesterol numbers.
Absolutely. And there's so many different things. So, and think about it. So, for people with high cholesterol, I want you to think about this in a common sense kind of point of view. And this is how I always explain everything, because I'm a person too. And before I became a naturopath, I was a hairdresser, right? How crazy is that, right?
Mm.
But I know how to talk to people because I was there. I had to learn it, what I know now. And so when you have high cholesterol, I want you to think of it this way. Your body is super smart, right? We know that. It wants to stay alive at all means. So if you are dehydrated, your body is going, oh my goodness, I need moisture. And what's the
Mhm.
best thing I can make? Well, I can
Fat.
either make something fat or something plaquey,
Mhm.
right? So it's going to go, okay, I'm going to be a little smart. And, your heart is a little angry and your brain's a little toast right now. So I'm going to make a whole ton of triglycerides, which is fat cells running amok through your blood cells. Okay. It's just extra fat hanging out, right? So then here comes the cholesterol piece. Those start to run amok. And now the cholesterol comes in and says, okay, your organs are getting hard. I need to fix. It's danger, danger, Will Rogers. You won't drink water? All right. I'm gonna try to make you thirsty. Oh, you don't pay attention? All right. I am now gonna make a substance in your body to keep me alive. Right. So now here comes extra cholesterol. It fills in your pipes, if you will. It fills in your heart. It fills everywhere. Right. So what do we
Mhm.
do now? Okay. You embrace this, first of all. Don't be
Yep.
mad. Just say, hey, this is my story. It is what it is. How can we move forward? All right, so let's try some more water. Let's try some water with some lemon essential oil because it's a squeegee, right? Think about if you've got oil on the stove. How do you get that off? Well, you're either going to use some really good dish soap, right? Or you could use something astringent like a lemon. It breaks down fat. All right, well, that's a good sign. Let's start there. And as you're drinking water with lemon essential oil, because that's where the medicine is basically in the peel of the citrus, not the
Yeah,
fruit,
exactly.
right?
I know people that will squeeze lemon in their water. So the juice is very different as far as the healing properties than
Correct. The
out
flesh.
the outer flesh. Yeah, where you need to squeeze it and get the zest and the essence from that.
Yeah, so doTERRA's already done that for you. So a bottle of 300 drops will cost you $11. You can't even go to Whole Foods and buy two lemons for that. Even in
That's
regular
true.
grocery stores, you can't, right? So you're getting the purest form. And you're like, well, why can't I do lemon zest? You can, but you're going to be zesting quite a bit to get one drop full because one drop is equivalent to 6 lemons. All right, that's easy
Mhm.
peasy. And the outside of the peel, and remind you, no one ever died from eating lemon peel. Just saying. Okay. Right? But
Yep.
that one drop of essential oil, of lemon essential oil in your water, and you want to do this in a glass, right? Because what it does is, or in stainless steel or ceramic or something like that, you don't want to put it in plastic because
Right.
that lemon is also now going to go into your body as you're consuming it in water. It's going to hydrate your cells, but it's also going to run amok and it's going to grab the plastic particles that are hanging around in your bloodstream, which are also causing some cholesterol issues. Now
Yeah.
you're like, well, how
And
did, yeah, well,
well,
hang on.
people are like, how am I getting plastic in my
Yes,
body?
this is what I'm going to
Anytime you
say.
go through like a Starbucks and grab a coffee, it's in a plastic cup. Anytime you eat food when you're at Whole Foods and you grab food to go and you're eating off the plastic fork, all of that will have a little bit of residual that you end up ingesting into your
Yep.
body.
Yep.
And it's in the air.
Yeah, and we know that most people have about the size of a credit card worth of plastic in their body at
Wow.
any random time. That's a lot. And for women and for men as well, right? That plastic is going to set up in the breast. So if you're wondering why there's so much breast cancer out there, could it be because you're drinking too much out of plastic water bottles,
Or
right? And
eating
if
off
you
plastic plates.
right,
Yeah.
and if you are, okay, we get it. It happens because sometimes you just do. Adding that one little or two drops of that lemon oil to your water is going to help work kind of like a Pac-Man inside of your body to eliminate that plastic out of your cells and out of your body. So basically, you're going to pee it out. Yes, we all pee and we all poop, right? It's going to come out that way. All right. So why not use the
Yeah.
gift of the earth? It's right here. It's not hard, right? We're happy to get you this product. And trust me, this isn't about us saying, hey, we're going to make a lot of money with the world. No, this is us trying to help and heal one person at a time, one drop at a time, because
Mhm.
we know it works. And you know what? We get it at wholesale just like us,
Yeah.
right? We don't mark it up. Nope.
Right. And the big thing about this is empowering us individually to make decisions for ourselves with our sovereignty, and just get back into our wellness and stop handing it over to somebody else, because it's
Right.
not working. If you look at what we're going through, we're the fattest we've ever been as a nation. We're the sickest we've ever been as a nation. You go to the doctors, they give you a prescription. That prescription has side effects. They give you another prescription. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to link this all together. And it's kind of like we said earlier, it's allopathic medicine. I wouldn't be here without it. Allopathic medicine is really good to get you out of crisis, but then
Yep.
you need to look at the holistic piece of it and look at your behavior and what is it that you can change so that you can take your wellness back into your life. I really enjoyed you coming on again. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, but I wanted to say thank you, Dr. L,
Oh,
my
my
lovely
pleasure, my
friend, for
pleasure.
coming in and talking essential oils with me. I'll make sure that I put the information in the show notes so that our listeners can go and find that. And please be your own detective. You know, if you can spend 3 hours at night in front of Netflix vegging out, I don't have anything wrong with that. I'm asking you to just do the counterbalance of that. Do 3 hours of research to make things better for yourself in your life and your family. So that's what we're all about here at the Live, Love, Lead podcast. And I hope that you have an amazing day today. I hope this information was super helpful for everybody. And we want to hear from you. So if you've listened to it and you loved it, please go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you. So with that, again, I want to thank my guest, Dr. Elle Provencher, for coming on and giving us all of her amazing wisdom. And she's here, she's available. And please, if you have a concern, I will put her information in the show notes so that you can reach out to her.
That's
All
great.
right.
Thank you so much. Blessed be to all. Take care of yourselves. Go out there, take a deep breath in, and smile. And
Yeah.
be
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a wonderful day. And until next time. Thank you so much for listening today. If you loved this episode and all things related to raising your vibration and living your best life, you can connect with me online at debbiesodegren.com. Check out my YouTube channel, Debbie Sodegren, and follow me on Instagram at Debbie Sodegren, Facebook page of Up Vibrations with Debbie Sodegren. I invite you to join me inside my Live, Love, Lead community. The link is on my website. You can always send me your questions or comments, or just say hello on social media. And remember, a shift in perception is sometimes all it takes to up your vibration. Until next time.